It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Monday's Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia. Sorry about the slight delay there. I was loading up some pictures and let the start time run past me a couple seconds there. I had a very busy weekend. It was totally different than I expected, which we're going to talk about that a little bit this morning. I did get out to the pool some. I still have only gotten into my waist. That water is still just awfully cold. I mean, cold. So I'll probably go out there again today. But I got some work to do after the show today. So we'll see. All right. So anyway, welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast on this, the 10th day of June. Our headlines today: zero single supplement is the top story. Also today, an update from Norway. Carnival considers shorter cruises, a technical upgrade for P&O Australia ships, and a 28-day cruise to Alaska. That and a lot more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today is National Iced Tea Day. Yeah, not my favorite. I'll drink a little. I'm typical Southern. It has to be sweet tea, but I don't dislike it. It's just not my favorite. I'm, addicted to Diet Coke. I readily admit that. So I rarely drink tea. I drink water, plain water, and I drink my Diet Coke. And of course, if I have a chance to drink lemonade, I'll drink some lemonade. But tea that drops down to like a fifth on my list. So anyway, it's National Tea Day, so go have some iced tea. If you're listening via the podcast, you're always welcome here. You can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. So, and all the big guys have it. It doesn't matter. Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and you'll find me. Anytime that you're listening via the podcast, you can always jump over to the video feed for interviews or take a look at clips we're using on that day's show or pictures like I'm getting ready to show you right now. There's always a link in the description of the podcast that'll allow you to do just that. All right, first thing before we get to business this morning, I'm sure everybody remembers the whole problems with the Bethany and her cruise. Bethany Bartley from down in Tampa. She was supposed to be on a river cruise that got canceled at the last minute because of the weather over there, and I don't know, one of those countries, someplace in Europe. So literally in like a 24 hours time, her travel agent down there was able to get her on the Azamara Quest, which she loves the Azamara Quest anyway, and it got the air flights all changed around. So she flew from Tampa. She was in D.C. at National, I think, one of the airports in D.C., and then flew to Bordeaux. So we're glad that Bethany didn't get totally screwed up. And of course, she started posting pictures immediately. This is in Bordeaux. Some of the scenes there, she must have spent longer in Bordeaux than I realized, because she's posted up a whole bunch of pictures. Did some churching while she was there. Went to the cathedral. That's in one of the streets with the umbrellas all floating around. She had a little, like a picnic at this place. Looks to me like maybe a sweet shop. And then, oh, that's the last one. Then she got to As a Mare Quest and got on board. Says she's going to be sailing for, I don't know, sometimes there's are a little longer cruises. I have no idea how long this one is. I didn't look at that or where it's going because Bethany's going to be posting stuff every day. And she goes out on excursions every day. I mean, she does a cruise right. That's why I love her as much as I do. She gets her money's worth. Now, she doesn't go cheap. I mean, she always does a step up as far as more expensive cruises, but she does it right. She certainly makes up for it. So glad things finally worked out for her, and she got on her way, even if it was to a different location and a different style cruise. And I think this might be her birthday cruise. I better not say that too loud, but I think it's her birthday cruise. Anyway, all right, guys, I'll be back. I got a whole bunch of stuff to go over with you this morning. After a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, thank you guys for that. You know, I said the lead story today was zero single supplement. And basically, folks, this is because this weekend is when I got onto it. Something happened that I have not seen since I started traveling solo, and that's been 10 years ago. I think this is my 10th year traveling solo. It may have happened before, it may have happened somewhere along the line, and I didn't find out about it. But this weekend, not once but twice, did Norwegian eliminate single supplements on both legs of the Blis transatlantic that Hot Air Tom and I and others are going to be on. Now, for years, I have talked in glowing terms about what Norwegian does for the solo community. I mean, on a lot of their ships, they've got the solo lounge, and they've got solo rooms, solo cabins. They've expanded that now. So on some ships, you've got solo ocean views. You got solo balconies. They do a lot for the solo community, but they suck for pricing. They've been 100% supplement on virtually everything. Occasionally you get a little off, but never zero. So imagine my surprise when the cruise from Miami to Southampton, which leaves on January the 4th, the solo price for an inside cabin with taxes and port charges went from $1427.97 to $927.48. And then the ocean view, there might be a few dollar differences, but the ocean view is $100 more, about $1027, and the balcony's another $100, or about $1127 for solos, straight up, taxes and port charges. So I had one customer this weekend that says, "Okay, I need to add on the free the 4 at sea, whatever they call it. I can't keep all those things straight. The 4, the drinks package and the Wi-Fi and excursions and whatever, specialty dining. And because this is a 13-day cruise, it's two meals included in that. It was like $240 or something for 13 days. I mean, I figured the drinks package alone would be $600. So, I mean, it was unbelievable. Now, Gary Older Than Dirt was booked on this originally. I was able to take him from an inside cabin to a balcony and save him $250. That's not a bad deal, folks, when you get upgraded several levels and erase $250 over the cost of the cruise that you were already booked on. So this is a major move, folks. So if any of you guys are solo, you want to join this. So let's add one more element on. One of our people, I won't mention any names, but one of our people said, well, I'd love to go on the cruise, but man, the flights are awful from, London back to, where she lived. So I said, okay. So I looked up the price. I found it for like $700 from London back over, which I didn't think was that bad. But then I checked it she happened to be in Pittsburgh. I checked it from Pittsburgh to London, and it was like $300 cheaper. So I said, okay, fly over to London, get down to Southampton, get on the boat, and do the return of the Bliss for the same price. So she did. So the return, I mean, there's a little difference in price. I think the solo price on that is like $928, or I don't, it's a little bit different. But I mean, these are prices, folks, that I've never seen with Norwegian. As much as I've sailed Norwegian, I love Norwegian. So if you're solo, unfortunately, it doesn't help the guys that are in double occupancy. But if you're solo, you're going to sell for the same price of the per person rate for double occupancy. And we just don't get that very often, at least on cruises that we all sail on. Sometimes you see, solo supplements at zero for some of the expensive cruises, some of the boutique cruises, but not for your mass market cruises like most of us sell on. So that's the top story today. And congratulations to Norwegian for doing that. I hope it's something that they will continue with on other things, because I promise you, if they stick up solo supplements, I'll sell the what out of them. So now we've got going over. Let's see who's on going over so far. There's several people that are checking on flights and stuff that didn't want me to book flights for them, but which I can do if I have to. Going over on the January 4th, we got Gary Older Than Dirt. We got Hot Air Tom and me. And I think that's the one that Kenneth and Robin are on. I am totally confused on which cruises that Kenneth and Robin are doing, but I think it's that one. And then on the Bliss, coming back on February the 2nd, Mary Ellen Haddock from Pittsburgh, who's been on, four cruises with me, I think, already. Maybe 5. Mary Ellen's going on this one. And Amico John from up there in Crookston, Minnesota. He's going to fly over and spend some time with the boys and make his way to Southampton to join me on the Bliss. And we're going to sail back from Southampton. And I think that's just absolutely awesome. that's the kind of bargain this is, guys, for solos. I mean, I'm in one solo group that I mentioned this to them. My goodness, there must have been 100 people commenting that they were checking on it and looking at it, and they booked. They didn't book it with me, but that's I wasn't trying to scam them in the group and get them to book. If anyone called, I'd be happy to book it for them, and that's okay. I was letting people know that this was available because solos just don't expect this ever, not in this country. So anyway, guys, if you're solo out there or you know somebody that's solo, tell them to call me. You know, they absolutely can't beat this on transatlantics on the Bliss, going both directions. Hot Air Tom and I are going to stay over there. We're going to do the Bliss over. Then we're going to bang around. I think it's almost 3 weeks that it's in dry dock. And we're going to bang around London and Paris and I don't know where I'm letting him set all that up. And, I'm just going along for the ride. So I'm turning it over to Hot Air Tom, and he's planning. He keeps asking me, do you want to do this? Sure. Do you want to do that? Sure. I'll do anything. I keep telling you, do it. I don't have to. So anyway, it's going to be a fun time, guys. And we'll be doing some stuff on board like I do on any hosted cruise. Eating together. We'll make contact with the solo coordinator to work on maybe some group dinners, some shows, all the things that we do. Maybe if we got enough interest, a slot pull, a bar crawl. If anybody drinks other than me and Gary, so we'll see. But anyway, that's going to be 2 fun cruises now. I mean, I was looking forward to them anyway, but even better now that we're going to have, I would think, a good group of solos on both of them. So, all right. So that was my top news story for today. And yes, I realize, guys, that's not a news story. However, I considered it one. In an update on Friday's story from Norway, the cruise ship passenger who went overboard during a Norway Fjords cruise has died. MSC Arabia was en route to the town of Flåm, Norway. It happened in the Sogen Fjord, the largest fjord in Norway and the second largest fjord in the world. The identity or any information on why or how has not been released. We have learned, however, that the deceased man was traveling with his wife. An investigation continues. Summer is here. Explore in style with the new Platinum 8000 folding power chair. It's a perfect companion for summer adventures. Now, this is a folding chair, folks. It folds in 3 seconds. The chair weighs 58 pounds, 63 pounds with the battery. It'll carry a weight capacity of 396 pounds, has a maximum speed of 3.75 miles per hour, and has a 15-mile driving range per charge. That is the new Platinum 8000 folding power chair. Just call my friends at Will for an $800 discount. It's available through June 16th for only $1,099. Call 844-664-7467 for the open box Platinum 8000 folding power chair sale, and just tell them code Chillie. You'll love it. Now, the only add-on to that, folks, is it's not Will. It's not Will you're calling. It's Scoot-Around, the Scoot-Around store. They're doing this. So, but it's everything I said. It's, from what I've been able to tell, it's exactly like my folding chair. I use now the sturdy chair, but it's just like my folding chair that I have. The only drawback I see to this chair is it's a 17.5-inch seat, and that's too skinny for my big fat butt. So my wheel people are working on that. That puts it into complete perspective. Carnival Cruise Line ambassador John Heald had a question for his followers. He wanted to know how potential cruisers would feel about embarking on shorter voyages on Carnival's XL class ships like Mardi Gras or Carnival Celebration. Even though the comments to Heald were very mixed, this would follow the lead of competitor Royal Caribbean and may indicate something Carnival is considering. So who knows? We may see Carnival Jubilee sailing 4- and 5-night itineraries. The Pacific Adventure and the Pacific Encounter are set to undergo technology updates before joining the Carnival Cruise Line fleet in March. According to P&O Cruises Australia, the vessels will be out of service for nearly 2 weeks while the work is carried out. As a result, a total of 7 cruises previously set to take place on board the sister ships have been canceled. Affected sailings include March 14th, 18th, 22nd, and 25th departures on board Pacific Adventure, as well as March 15th, 18th, and 22nd departures on board Pacific Encounter. All cruises scheduled to take place after April 2025 on board the Pacific Adventure and the Pacific Encounter will be operated by Carnival Cruise Line. Pacific Explorer will discontinue operations in February and is expected to be sold off to another company. The Westerdam is sailing from Seattle on Sunday for a 28-night cruise to Alaska and the Arctic Circle. According to Holland America, the cruise allows guests to explore Alaska's most remote jewels while celebrating the summer solstice in Nome. After departing from Seattle, the Westerdam is set to visit Ketchikan and Sitka on its way to the Hubbard Glacier. Continuing its way north, the 2004-built ship sails to Valdez and Seward before arriving in Dutch Harbor for a 6-hour visit. After crossing the Arctic Circle, the month-long itinerary then includes a visit to Nome, one of the northernmost cities visited by traditional cruise ships in Alaska. On its way back to Seattle, the Westerdam is set to visit other off-the-beaten-path destinations, including Kodiak, Homer, and Prince Rupert. Also included in the itinerary are stops in Juneau and Haines, in addition to an overnight visit to Anchorage and scenic cruising of Glacier Bay, the Tracy Arm Fjord, the Inside Passage, the Prince William Sound, the College Fjord, Misty Fjords, and Little Diomede Island. Why not join us on a cruise with Chillie from New York to Rome on the Norwegian Epic? The ship sails on March 31st, 2025 from New York, with stops in Bermuda, Ponta Delgada, Lisbon, Barcelona, Cannes, Livorno, Naples, and arrives at Civitavecchia in Rome on April the 15th. Solo cabins start at $27.32. Double occupancy starts at $16.32 per person. Those prices include all taxes and port charges. Give me a call or text 434-258-9264 for a transatlantic on the Epic from New York to Rome. And I just noticed in the chat room, Kenneth and Hot Air Tom both straightened me out. Kenneth and Robin are going on that cruise that we just mentioned on the New York to Rome on the Epic. So I hope I didn't confuse everybody over that. All right, that's it. Wraps up the news portion of today's show. Let's go see who's fussing at me in the chat room. Hot Air Tom's here. Sonny's with us down in Mississippi. There's Mike from across the pond. Kenneth from Pennsylvania. There's Joanne. Hi, Joanne. Hit that like button. Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate that. Bob's with us. Hey, Bob. Todd's here. Todd, you're here early today. Wow, I'm impressed. Hot Air Tom says that Robin told me over the weekend that they've not decided on the Bliss yet. I realize that. They were booked previously on the Epic. Yes, I'm the one that had it screwed up. Kenneth says the same thing. We aren't able to do the January cruise. Okay. All right. That's good. I knew we were sailing. I just had the wrong one. Cindy says, Chillie Cruises, you will be sorry, referring to our activities. Chillie might test out the guillotine at the Tower of London. Yeah, with Hot Air Tom's head in it. I got no problem with going to the Tower of London. Yeah, as long as I can roll up. I can roll up on most anything. There's Elizabeth Willis down in Playa del Carmen. Buenos dias, Chillie and the gang. I just saw a little bit of rain for the first time since I got home. Plants and birds will be happy. It probably rained for 5 minutes and everybody's running around with umbrellas and raincoats. So I know how they do with rain down there. So anyway, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, Eli. I mean, we chatted a little bit back and forth, but I was afraid that I was calling you too late and you'd be naked running around your house. So, speaking of naked, which was the lead in to this, a certain travel agent that I won't name because he's in Juneau and complaining about how hot it is and said he could use my pool. And I said, well, come on down. It's a clothing optional pool so you can pack light. Just jump on a plane and get here. Go get in the pool. So he comes back a few minutes later and he says, by the way, are you on, I forget the name of the app, some app. I said, I never heard of it. And he says, well, that's where you get naked and do crazy stuff for people online and they pay you. And I said, yeah, no. Nobody's going to pay this old big fat guy to be naked. And then he says, you'd be surprised. And then another friend popped up and said, she said, I get paid to sit on cakes. I said, what? She says, yeah, people pay me to sit on cakes and I'm not even naked. I thought, oh my God, the world is crazy. So I just thought I'd point that out, folks. And no, Jason, I am not going to get naked online. I don't even take pictures of myself with a shirt off at the pool anymore because of you. That's Jason, my son, not Pittsburgh Jason. He complains constantly that I'm naked in the pictures. All right, guys. Glad you're with me. like Joanne asked, smash that thumbs up button. That'll help me out a bunch. Had a decent weekend for subscribers. We're up to 5263 or something like that. So if you haven't subscribed, please take this as my invitation to do so. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the channel out a bunch. So I still like to be at 10,000 subscribers. I'll even be a little more honest. I'd like to be at 10,000 subscribers by the time I go to Alaska. How's that? In August. That sounds good. All right, guys. That's it for today. I'll be back here, same time, same channel tomorrow. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful day today. Just try to stay cool in the areas that are really hot. Florida, I hear you're getting a hell of a lot of rain today. So try to stay dry. In the meantime, I'll talk to everybody real soon. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Especially you solo guys. Call me. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.